Oh, Grant, I feel like I need to have like my pajamas on, have the cap and gown and everything. Not graduating, sleeping, and I can go honk shoo like that. Um, but it was a late race at Atlanta. You somehow in person managed. You stayed the entire time. Didn't get home until like 3:30 in the morning, and then got up and worked the next day. So more power to you. You had more willpower than I would have had. I did stay up and watch the race though, so it was one of the very rare moments of me watching a fantastic sporting event and being like, I'm so glad I'm not there. So
Missed out, man. I worked from home on Monday.
okay, that makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I worked from home on Monday. I sent an email when I saw that 11:45 was the start time. I shot a quick email to our HR lady, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be at home tomorrow. Thanks." Customer event. It was
More power.
I mean, it was hilarious. So we were there, and it starts raining, whatever the delay, and luckily, no better race to have a rain delay than when you're in a suite because you're fed, your thirst is quenched, you're dry, comfortable seats. The backside of the suites where you walk to where the elevators are, because we had a couple of them that I was bouncing between because I had some folks in each one. I walked out and I was about to walk to another one because I wanted to see, if people were going to stay, if people were going to go. I was planning on staying, just if it wasn't going to be too egregious, because I was like, they have to race tonight because there's no
Yeah,
way
I was
they're.
to say
They
there's no
could have
way they
ran
race
today.
the race.
No, they could have ran yesterday, maybe, but I don't know. And it was dumping rain, and it was just brake lights as far as you could see. Everybody was leaving, and I was like, "Yeah, now I'm definitely staying." And we stuck it out. We just went around and talked to folks, and they kept bringing out different kinds of like different other foods and whatever, and it cleared out pretty good. I mean, each of our suites probably had a third, maybe, of the people that were there. There was nobody in the grandstands. So come race time, one of the girls in our small group had some friends down in the grandstands, and we sat probably 12 rows back on the start finish line. Nobody around, and it was awesome.
I was impressed with just how many people were left though. I was
Yeah,
like
it
I
was
had
impressive, but
it was like a third of the
it was
grandstands
it was
about.
it was pretty empty. But I'll tell you what, though, when we went back green flag racing, there was more shirts off spinning in the sky than there were shirts on. I mean, it was you were there for racing. There was nobody that was there for pleasure or business or anything like that. By the time that race came back, it was race fans.
And
It was awesome.
what a race that they were treated to after the sun goes down, after, I mean, the red flag, 3 hour, 6 minute red flag, and then about a 20-minute caution period after, just a dry pit road. And they went after it. It was a 190 lap. I think it was 190 laps or so whenever we. No, it was.
No, it was less than that. We only had to get to. I
Yeah,
think we
because
only
we
had
were.
130 to go, or 100. No, we had
Because 100
160
and.
to go.
It was 160
160
to
to
go.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I confused my 30 and my 60 there. I was like, I know we had 30 to go to halfway, but halfway was 130.
Yeah.
So everybody raced for the entire rest of the time like that was for the win. Like if there was
Yeah.
any chance of any rain, which there wasn't, it was clear, but they were like, I'm going to be in the lead by the time that caution, the red flag comes back out. And Atlanta is already the most fun track on the schedule. When you get Atlanta with temperature changes, weather changes, and everyone with an increased sense of urgency, it takes the best track on the schedule and it makes it otherworldly good. It is one of the, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say, it is one of the best combination car and track anywhere in motorsports. Atlanta is just so much fun to watch as a race fan, and it feels like there's more skill involved because a lot of people like to say, "Oh, well, it's turning left," and Daytona and Talladega don't really require that much skill at a drafting track, but Atlanta, I mean, handling mattered all night, tires mattered all night. You would see it was every lap, it would just be someone in the top 10 just hit a spot, lost their grip, and would drop 15 spots because you were on the razor's edge the entire night. Pulled out my headphones. Man, I'm so excited talking about it. But it is, man, it's we have some specific incidents to talk about, some specific drivers to talk about, but this was maybe not the best race of the season. I don't know. I think it's up there with the first Atlanta race, which I mean, if your only competition is yourself, then that's saying a lot. I think the I think San Diego has a pretty good case for being one of the best races of the year. The Coke 6, I think if the Coke 600 didn't get delayed by weather or cut short by weather, then they would have that would be in the running as well. But Atlanta, definitely two of the top, probably your two top races of the year so far. So everyone was skeptical, including me, when they made the choice to reconfigure Atlanta, and it has worked out marvelously. So, what do you want to talk about first, specifically about this race, Grant?
I don't. I would like to actually. I need to go and just one of these days record or just go back and watch the full race replay because I haven't watched Atlanta on a TV in years.
Yeah,
So I don't know how it presents on TV because it presents so well in person. So I would be curious to see how that looks.
it looked really
Because
good, and
it is.
TNT did a good job. They didn't show. I think from the red flag on, they didn't go to commercial during the green flag. So,
Well, that
well, I
makes
mean,
sense because they showed all the commercial time that everyone paid for during the break.
no, they were
So
showing Wipeout. They were showing
oh, they
Wipeout.
were.
I was watching Wipeout in an illegal stream, um, with about 40,000 people all cheering for John Cena hosting Wipeout. So it was a
Well, I
good
stand
time.
corrected.
It was a very good time, and yeah, I think I don't know. It presents really well on TV as well. Um, it's one of those, like, you've been to Talladega, and you've been several times to Talladega.
Yeah, I was at Dega a
Day
few months ago.
like Dega presents way better on TV than it does in
Yeah,
person.
it was terrible in person. It was.
Because
We were talking about that at the race. There was a few guys that were there with me, and we are like, "This is way better." Dega sucks, kind of.
Dega's terrible because you can't see the backstretch. Even if you're like all, unless you're all the way at the top of the grandstands, you cannot really see the backstretch, and
Yeah,
even then it's foggy.
yeah. It
So,
was. It was not great.
but Atlanta is the perfect size. You get a lot of speed, but you can see the entire track all the way around, and you don't even have to be very high up to do so. So it is fantastic, but like I said, it also presents very, very well on TV.
Yeah.
So everyone at home got a very similar experience without getting wet or anything like that, or having to wait in traffic, which you did not have to do. But
Mm-mm. No wet. It didn't rain on me at all. Um, didn't have to wait in traffic. I mean, I was in the Rotella lot right by the track, which was really nice. But I also we zipped right out. It was awesome.
so let's just start with the winner because you can't talk about any portion of this race without bringing up Ryan Blaney. Blaney was on the pole, swept both stages, and then won, coming from behind on the last lap, making the last lap pass to win this race. And he was only Cody Ware away from an absolute 76-point perfect race, which I did not think we would see at a super speedway this year.
Yeah.
And we were both talking about it a little bit before we even got on air. It never felt like he had truly the fastest car. It was just you could not get Blaney to go away. He, especially anytime that 12 had clean air on the nose, it was going to mount a comeback and pass you. And a lot of other guys could roll the bottom or roll the top pretty well. Blaney could do both, and he could also complete a pass in one turn, which is something that pretty much every other car struggled to do in the race on Sunday. So, and don't look now, but we have a three-way kind of points battle for the lead, here in the regular season title.
Yeah. After that one, that'll put you 75 points. Will put you right back in just about any points battle.
So, but Ryan Blaney, as much as I mean, he is Ford. I think they said he's won either the last 6 or the last 7 races for Ford, and just even as much as he is just that guy, he's somewhat still underrated. I think just because of sometimes Ford has not given him the best equipment. But tonight he had a race winning car, or a car that at least could get him close, and it was not it was never in doubt. It was just really, is he going to get passed on the last lap? Or is he going to get wrecked by Hocevar or Bubba right there, racing for the win? But Blaney, fantastic performance. You're not supposed to be able to lead that many laps at a track like Atlanta. So hats off to him. And yeah, I think it's almost, Blaney was very entertaining to watch, but he was so good it was almost boring. Like, to talk about him in retrospect.
Yeah.
I
And a
mean,
great looking car, by the way.
just especially under the lights.
It looked really
Yeah.
good.
I just don't, I was gonna say, just, and I mean, you look at some of the tracks upcoming, Blaney's gonna have some momentum coming in. I mean, you won here at Atlanta. We go to North Wilkesboro next week, which is should be Penske's playground. Indianapolis, literally owned by Roger Penske. Iowa is in that, and then a Daytona at the end of the regular season. So he's going to have chances to reel in Denny Hamlin and Tyler Reddick. So very interested to see how that battle plays out. Speaking
Yeah.
of Toyota, it felt like at times that they were going to win this race. Christopher Bell comes up second. Bubba Wallace, like I mentioned before, crossed the line second, but had a penalty, and we'll talk about that. Ty Gibbs fourth, Eric Jones fifth. Tyler Reddick was a factor all night. He started 31st and just he was second in both stages. So very, very fast car yet again at Atlanta for Tyler Reddick. And he ate into the points lead a little bit. Denny Hamlin had a respectable day. And just, I don't know. I think Toyota still is showing they were the fastest overall manufacturer, but I mean, no one could really beat Ryan Blaney. Even stage 1, where things got spread out a bit, and Penske kind of gapped the field until I think it was Larson, Reddick, and Hocevar were the 3 that ran them back down. But it took all 3 of those guys almost working together to separate Logano and Cindric from Blaney. And even then, they couldn't get by Blaney with just one-on-one. No one could get by him. So Penske, I don't think really showed up as well as we thought they may, or some people thought they may, but despite Ryan Blaney's dominance. So I think a lot of that was just, Blaney being Blaney, because neither of, after Logano and Cindric got put back in dirty air, they didn't go anywhere. So
That's probably a setup thing, though.
yeah, I mean, they all qualified super well.
They
So, I
had
mean,
those. I think they were trimmed out pretty good for qualifying because obviously no practice, can't touch the car. I
so
would my idea was if these guys get in dirty air, they're in a lot of trouble, which is the exact opposite. And they were talking about that actually. Christopher Bell was talking about it. About I don't think a Toyota qualified higher than 20th.
and they all came forward
Yeah,
immediately.
they
So,
were all set up for race trim. They all had a ton of downforce and handling built the car.
and
Tyler
it,
Reddick was the plus 30
yeah,
in stage 1, and Bell was plus 27, I think,
it
or something like that.
was,
I think it was
they
Bell
were
and Reddick that were both plus 27 or better
they were able to pull off
spots.
moves that no one else could, like the
Even the
Toyotas
Gibbs
anyway.
cars really couldn't do as well as the 2311, and they still may have had the best cars. Like we never really saw a chance for him to do this, but I don't think Blaney could have done this. Some of these gaps that the 2311 cars would take, and they would just shoot to the bottom and roll the bottom, and they would pass 2 to 4 cars and then complete the pass and get up in front of them. I mean, it was like I was watching him because I spent a lot of time obviously watching the 17, and there was no chance. There was no chance. I mean, you get lucky if he could roll the bottom and pass one car.
Yeah,
And then I watched the 45. 45 gets around the 17. And I'm like, wow, that was oh my gosh. And he's like he goes from 17th to 12th and turns 1 and 2.
they look
I
like
mean,
they
it's
had an extra gear.
it looked like they could just it looked like they had like pine tar on their tires.
I mean,
Like
yeah,
they had so much more grip at a higher speed, and it was unbelievable. The 23 did it too. I thought the 23 was the fastest car. In person, the 23. I was like, the 23 has nitrous strapped into it. It is so fast.
So we'll go ahead and talk about it. Bubba went below the yellow line, only 2 tires, but I mean, it only takes 2 tires to get there on the last lap. And instead of a second place finish, he is credited with, let's see, where did they put him? I think 29th. Um, yeah, last car on the lead lap, so 29th
Yeah,
in 29th in this, and he only gets your 29th points,
you got like
place
8
points
points or something like that.
with his one stage point he collected. So, and that does not show how good Bubba Wallace was. I mean, he spun him so he blames this on Ty Gibbs. It was not Ty Gibbs's fault. Like, and you even said you thought it was the
I didn't see it.
54's fault.
I couldn't see it, and I don't have replay.
I was just saying, you're like, guys, I don't have replay, but it was very clearly on Bubba.
All I saw was the 23 sliding across the infield, and your initial thought for anyone is, I don't think he probably did that by himself. So I'm like,
Unless
it can't be his fault. Like I would imagine
it
someone like
was,
give him a push or something that was
it
bad,
was
because it always
very,
seems like Bubba gets a bad push,
it was very similar to Larson coming to the stage 2 checker in the
and he self
spring
clears
race. He
SVG
self
from
clears.
5 counties over.
He comes all the way down the track because he gets loose. He's losing speed. Ty Gibbs is coming, and he pulls up. He hits the brakes, but it's not enough. I mean, there's called cutting a guy a break, but then there's not much you can do when you're like 30 miles an hour slower than him, and he just punts him. I don't think there was anything that Ty Gibbs could have done differently. I get that Bubba's frustrated and he goes out and yells at him when they get out of the cars, but I don't really know what he could have done differently. That was just a bad position that Bubba put himself in. And then it really cost him, because if he had gotten, 6 stage points there, maybe it doesn't sting quite as bad to be the penalty at the end. I mean, it still would hurt. That was a 28-point penalty, basically. But
Yeah,
just that stings a lot. And I think for NASCAR, it's very lucky that he didn't win the race. Because could you imagine another double yellow line controversy? But this time around one of your most controversial drivers.
oh, the
Just,
fans there would have loved it. They booed him.
they always do. But, so, I don't know.
I booed Austin Hill to even it out.
Yeah, you have to even it out. Bubba, I don't really know. I think it's it's kind of
And
bad
I
luck
booed Hocevar
to even it out.
just be just to see
Was it mostly cheers or booze
who
this
around
time
me would
for?
get Hocevar.
Okay, I'm gonna assume you said
Okay.
cheers because I had no clue what because you went
What did
all
you ask?
optimist. I asked, was it mostly cheers or booze for Hocevar from the crowd?
Oh, it was the Krispy Kreme factory, brother. It was the glaze of the century.
Okay, I expected
So
that.
that's
But
why I booed, just to see who would be mad around me. I just like booed all the pot. Like I booed Elliott,
yeah,
like everybody, just to see who would get mad, because it's just like
it's just funny.
it's no skin off my back. I don't care.
So I don't understand. I don't think Bubba is going to be able to appeal this penalty. NASCAR is very, very subjective in the way that they enforce the double yellow line, to the fact that they probably shouldn't even have it as a rule anymore. I pulled up this one. I think it's Seth Egert, retweeted here by Jeff Gluck. Work in progress for a chart that goes all the way back to an incident with Carl Edwards in 2006 about um, the double yellow line rule and whether or not NASCAR penalized it. And you can see was the position advanced, all but 4 of these 20 something incidents, maybe 30 something incidents, are blue. And then you look at the penalties, and it's about 50%. It is very subjective from NASCAR on whether they choose to ever enforce it. So I can understand why Bubba's upset. I mean, just from the points penalty alone, I get why he's upset. I can understand, though. He's like, you don't really enforce this rule a majority of the time. Why are you enforcing it now? Because I didn't complete the pass when I was below the yellow.
Yeah.
However, because NASCAR is so hypocritical about this rule, I don't think that there's a snowball's chance that he gets this overturned or anything.
Which is a shame because he had a far better car than 9 points or 8 points or whatever it was, but part of it, I guess.
So I expect him to be fast when we go to Indy in a few weeks, and
He
we'll
better
see.
be.
From I think they'll be good at Richmond, should be good at Daytona. So we'll see what the
I
23
would be
looks like.
shocked with the speed that he's shown if he doesn't win one of these next few.
He is. I'll
He's
just
on the
say this.
precipice, and it has been for a while. Well, he kind of fell off there for a minute. Had some bad luck there in between, but
Speaking of bad luck and being on the precipice, Christopher Bell coming away with yet another second place finish.
we were going. They actually did a Q&A little trivia thing before he went up and spoke, and they were talking about like how many he's been. That is his now sixth second place,
Yeah.
and he has been wrecked while running second 4 other times.
Yeah. He is
Unbelievable.
he is having
Unbelievable.
it feels like he's having the season Ryan Blaney had last year.
But way worse.
Yeah, well, no, I beg to differ because Ryan Blaney got wrecked a lot more than he finished last
Well,
year.
I'm just saying, like
But
it, but he didn't win. He hasn't won.
that's true.
It'd be different if he had like a win. I'd be like, yeah, I mean, yeah, he's gotten screwed a few times, but at least he's got one. He's got
it
none.
feels like if Bell can find a way to get one, they are going to start rolling in. The
Yeah,
team has way too much speed everywhere we go
yeah. He's
to
good at
not.
every track. It's unbelievable how good he is everywhere. His
So
wrist was totally fine too for pushing and that kind of stuff. Said it was
yeah,
totally fine.
they told it about in the rain delay. They actually took his cast off, and then they recasted it while he was in the car the morning of the race,
Hmm,
so that they poured the cast on in the position that he was most comfortable holding the steering wheel in.
that's awesome.
So dedication
Yeah.
to your craft. Um, Speaking of dedication and controversy or whatever, Carson Hocevar. So we could talk for an entire episode about the 77. Bad fast. Cut a tire at the end of stage 2, rode to the finish, and then makes up like 30 spots in about 60 laps at the end of stage 3. So I thought he had a really good chance at winning this race. And I mean, he had the whole beef with Zane Smith to start this week. It was really funny that he was coming to the checkered flag, leading the race as Zane Smith crashed. But that's neither here nor there. But I think that this is one of the first times that Carson's personality and the way that I guess he just rubs drivers the wrong way for whatever reason cost him. Because Denny Hamlin on Actions Detrimental, I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to it,
Not yet.
um, said that I'm just going to give a few quotes, but I'll cut 3 out here. You don't race the fans, you race your competitors. And there's more of them than there are of you. And then it's like, you may sound good what you say in an interview, but at the end of the race, those can sometimes hurt your finishing position. There are drivers, and there were drivers in the meeting today that said no matter what, they would not push Carson Hocevar. And that was the reason he lost, because you saw there were multiple cars that would choose to either shift down a lane and go push Bubba or go up a lane and push Blaney. So when Hocevar had zero help. And I think, considering the position he was actually in, it did cost him a race. So Your thoughts on that? Because I don't want Hocevar to change. I think
It
that
was pretty obvious the whole race. It was like there was like a NASCAR order of push literally anybody but the 77. And frankly, I'd say he deserves it.
yeah,
Uh, it's like, I mean, I don't think Zane Smith was lying. Did Zane Smith was what is how Zane Smith delivered what he said? Probably not the best way to do it on a podcast with dudes from Barstool. Probably, but was the underlying message wrong?
no,
No. And did it come to fruition? Absolutely. There was a bunch of I saw a thing on YouTube. There was a bunch of guys being like talking about the ending, and they're like, it said something about like I said something like just basically being like, I mean, there's five cars at the finish, and there's one guy without a car pushing him. I mean, it's like whatever. And this top comment was like, he has, but something about like it's like that's what happens when you're unpopular or something like that. He's like he's got so many fans and stuff like that. I was like, what are the fans going to do? Get out there and push him? Like
yeah. I mean,
it was out. There was times, and it was during the middle of the race when he was running up front, and you'd have like it'd be like the 45. The 45 would dive three wide bottom, and then come all the way up the track 3 lanes to just not push the 77.
yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Or
I
like
mean,
even in
it
stage
was like
one,
they would put themselves in worse spots to not push him.
in stage one, where it's Larson, Reddick, and Hocevar chasing down the three Penske cars, and Hocevar starts a run to get by Cindric to start to break up these three. And instead of doing what is better for everybody and pushing Hocevar, Larson would go to the other lane to kill his momentum.
Yeah,
And it's just like, okay. Like, and I think Jeff Burton brought this up on the broadcast, and Hamlin brought it up again later on in the quote. What is that you cannot disrespect drivers both on the track and off the track. You can do whatever you want in interviews, but you have to, you can brace them badly, but then you have to go behind the scenes and make up. You got to put your arm around a guy and say, hey, look, I'm sorry I messed you up. You owe me one. Or you have to race better on the track. And the both of, I mean, what he's doing and then also trolling on social media, it gets under a lot of these drivers' skin. Is it entertaining? Absolutely. I love it. I think it's very good for the sport. But I do think that this is probably, I mean, we've seen it now. San Diego, I mean, you could argue that cost him maybe not a win, but it definitely cost him several finishing positions in that race. And then this one probably did cost him a win just because Hocevar's being Hocevar. And so it's whether I don't want him to change too much, but he's going to have to adapt if he wants to actually be a serious championship contender. Because I think he has the speed and the talent to be that, but he's just not going to get any help as with what he's doing right now.
yeah. That's Denny said it a while back on his podcast. He's like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter how talented or fast you are with how similar the cars are now. If the garage doesn't want you to win, you're not going to win. It's that simple. The garage didn't want him to win.
And it's not like Talladega where, I mean, you can't pull out a line or you're going to screw yourself.
Yeah,
Atlanta, you have the opportunity to do whatever you want to do.
yeah,
And it was very obvious that no one in the field wanted to push Hocevar.
yeah.
Um,
There was a lot of Hocevar fans though at the track.
well, he did
A
the
lot of
whole.
them looked like Zane Smith's little picture. just gonna leave that there for you.
Well, it was
Like,
a lot
wow,
of.
you just found out what NASCAR was after Talladega.
Well, it was the. I will say, even if the race car thing doesn't work out for Carson Hocevar, he can go and be a great marketer.
Yeah,
The
that's
whole
true.
the whole take your shirt off your back of any former driver or of any current driver that's not me and I will give you a free t-shirt. The first 77 to do that. And there were apparently hundreds who tried to do that at Atlanta Motor Speedway. So, I mean, I understand why people like him. I like him, but he also hasn't wrecked my favorite driver. So,
I'm a big fan of Ricky Stenhouse now. He had a big old refrigerator on pit road in front of his hauler with NOS energy drinks for free just to grab. So
and that was
Me
needed.
and Ricky are capiche right now.
That's all it took. You can be
Yeah.
bought.
Yep. I can be bought by caffeinated beverages.
So, um, who else? Who else should we talk about? Do you want to talk about a little bit about stage one? How that was weird. How strung out everything was
It
for
looked like the O'Reilly race a little bit. I think people were just taking it easy.
probably. I mean, I think they knew that rain was coming, and
Yeah.
then they're
They
like, "We're
didn't
gonna
want to
go
wreck their
really
stuff. And
hard."
but they didn't go hard. That's the whole time I was listening to I was flipping between radios because the 17 was making me angry, um, in a very respectful way. Um, so I flipped to like the 23 radio when he was running second and first, and flipped to the 12 radio. I didn't hear a ton about weather, and I was watching, and I was like, these guys seem pretty content just to kind of ride around because it's like no one's being. They were like too wide here, maybe 8 rows back, they're 3 wide or something like that. I don't know, but like it was nothing like stage three. Like when there was actually some urgency, like it was 6 rows deep of 3 wide. It was never
Yeah.
like that. Like they just seemed pretty content to just be like, all right, we're just going to kind of ride. The guys in the front were like, we're just going to ride right here. We like where our stuff is. It's gonna rain, and we're gonna finish this race today, like tonight. So it seemed like they were pretty content just to ride around because I was like, there was no urgency from the front of the field.
Well, and two, I mean, there was a huge separation in who had a good car that handled well and who did not.
Yeah.
So you had a lot of guys, I think, that were really trying to just not wreck before stage one ended, so that they could come to pit road and work on their car.
Yeah. Case
Um,
in point, the 17. His pit stop, when they went to pit stops after the rain delay, they spent a good 30 seconds at least working on more of that car. I mean, it was terrible. And he wasn't the only one. I mean, he just was the one that I noticed, but there was about 7 or 8 cars that were on the jack for a long time.
just wholesale changes.
Yeah. Big. And
So
it's like big. Not that there's no practice. You can't really like swing and miss on your setup for like, per se, but you can miss, but it's not like it's a different kind of miss.
yeah, I think something that I'm very interested to see how the new Atlanta surface and everything ages, because I think that stage one might be a bit of a glimpse into how some of these summer races might go, because there's just going to be less grip, so you have a lot more separation, and then as teams start to catch up, as the surface cools down day to night, you're going to be more pack racy.
Yeah.
But I do think you're going to start to see some early stages, at least at Atlanta,
Starting to
be
spread out.
more spread out, kind of intermediate. You're still able to slingshot and stuff like that, but you're also pretty content riding around. But it was still exciting. Like, I was very interested in, like I mentioned, Hocevar Reddick coming through the field, Larson trying to get Cindric away, get Logano away from Blaney. That was very, very fun. So even if that's more of a style of racing that we go to at Atlanta, I'm not mad about it. And I think the February race will still be really, really, really tight, because the more grip is there, the tighter we get together. I mean, the more you see these crazy moves that
Yeah.
everyone's trying. So I
Yeah.
think the blend of those two is really what makes Atlanta special.
Yeah. Yeah, brother. It was hot. Let me tell you. It was hot.
So I mean, it went
Real
from,
hot.
oh, trust me, I worked that day
Oh, yeah.
outside. I was aware of it was 100 degrees with probably a heat index of like 108 or 110 in
Not
Columbus.
much
So,
breeze to speak of. Yeah. Not much breeze. And I was in polo tucked into dark pants.
ooh,
Hot. Real hot. Worth it, but hot. Total side note, I should have probably mentioned this at the top, but one little funny tidbit that did happen. So for the 250, they had skydivers for every branch of the military. Dude,
right?
one of them jumped down and he's in his parachute and a gust of wind blows and this dude is coming down. He's landing in the far bit of grass right before turn one, and you just hear and his feet hit the asphalt and it sounds like someone's doing a
Oh,
burnout, and then he just goes wham right into a fire truck. It was hilarious. He was okay. But
Okay, I was gonna
side
say
note,
it
he was totally
was
fine.
it
He
was
was fine. He was wearing
hilarious.
like a
He's
helmet.
dead.
No, he's not dead. It was so funny. I wish I had that on video. That was
Okay,
probably that was one of the most entertaining wrecks of the night. Everyone was just we were down there where you go for driver intros where they sign and stuff like that. The whole grandstands, everybody on pit road.
was that the biggest boom of the night?
No, it wasn't. No, it was not.
Um,
I wish you could have seen my face because we have a certain friend that's
yeah,
from Shoal Creek, Alabama, that loves that crew. I just hear boom, boom, and I was just in the fan zone as we're walking up. So first thing I see on the left when I walk in, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me! What is happening here?" It was hilarious.
in the Cracker Barrel
Yeah,
stage
it's
too.
just
It's
me and my
amazing.
wife. I'm in like dress pants, or like I'm wearing like I guess golf pants and like a polo tucked in with like what and McKenna's in like a dress. Everyone else's shirt's optional, and then
Yeah.
we're just getting five big booms. It was a fever dream. It was crazy.
Um, and then them on the stage with Noah Gregson, they had a boom for every lap he went down.
Yeah,
So, um, front row did not have it, and I was shocked because this is one of their better tracks.
yeah. Zane
Um,
sucked.
Zane was terrible. Um,
I've
and
expected that from the other two.
and of course, Carson had to rev his motor as he went a lap down and everything at him. So, I hope that beef continues. It's a fun one, but
It'd be fun if they were in similar equipment.
they were both Inspire cars for a year together.
But they
They were
don't really.
teammates.
They didn't hate each other then. I don't think.
Yeah, they weren't, but they were neither of them were very good at that point.
I'm like,
So
I want them to be in equal equipment now.
I don't think my prediction at the beginning of like middle of the season where I said that Zane Smith should replace Michael McDowell at Spire, I don't think that's going to happen anymore.
No,
Um, but
it would be hilarious though if
it
it
would
did.
be really funny. Just,
I would do it.
I mean, you get as much speed in the building and you lock them in a closet till they figure it out.
Yeah. First of all, hey yo. Second of all, yeah, I'm right there with you.
Um, let's look at the point standings, I guess. I am willing to now eliminate. I think Todd Gilliland and Zane Smith are both gone. Michael McDowell and AJ Allmendinger, thank you for playing. Brad and Priest have really got to turn it around quickly
Priest,
because
I have faith. Brad, mail it in, brother.
Ross is starting to make a. Ross is finally starting to get finishes better than what his equipment is giving him. So
Yeah,
maybe there's a chance, but I think he needs to win a race still.
yeah, yeah. There's a chance.
I mean, he's only 45 back of the cut line. So, I mean, there's a possibility. Yeah, I think that's where you go, Wes. I think you go Chastain and then up to Cindric. I think Cindric is the last guy who is not safe. I think Bubba, despite the penalty, is fine. William Byron, disappointing season. I mean, him and Rudy Fugle got into it in stage
Yeah,
one.
it was pretty hilarious.
Um, he's just complaining every corner. It's like, what do you want me to do? I can't fix it. Just stop, shut up, and drive the car.
Yeah, it's your literal only job.
I mean, PG. That was a very PG version of that statement, but
Yeah,
still,
you
um,
you summarized it.
yeah. Joey Logano. Uh, I don't know what in the world is going on with the 22.
He
I
busts his
th-
head. That's the only thing.
I think we'll figure out by next week if they have a shot. Personally,
Bald Gano. Bald Gano is not a contender.
no, he's got to
He's got
have
to
hair.
grow the hair back out.
It's gotta be,
That's the only way.
he's gonna just show up with a toupee next week.
It's not real hair. Sorry, brother.
I don't know if he's had real hair for years. Have you seen the way he looked?
At least he didn't embrace the baldness.
He's embracing the baldness. Shout out Caleb. Anyways, um, Daniel
Wow.
Suarez, he was better. He's
He
11th in
ebbed and
points.
flowed. He was
He
up
was
there and then he was in the back. I was like, what happened?
Spire had some fast cars though. I mean, Hocevar was just the fastest of the three. Suarez was pretty good. McDowell hung around the top 15 most of the night.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I don't know. I think there are 10 guys right now that have a shot to win the championship, and they're the top 10. You can maybe make a case for William Byron, but until he shows me something,
You would have
I
to make your case the most unbelievable case of all time.
I
You have
just
to be you have to be OJ's lawyer. Give me to believe that one.
Denny can win a championship. He hasn't done it yet, but that doesn't mean he can't. Tyler Reddick could. Ryan Blaney very well could, despite his equipment. Ty Gibbs, very sneakily, is fourth in points.
Mhm.
He's not getting talked about near as much as I feel like even guys below him in the points. Chase Elliott's fifth, Larson sixth. Larson should really be fourth in points. He's done it to himself. And he has now a sizable gap behind fourth, Ty Gibbs. Busher seventh,
Which I'm
Hocevar
going to
eighth.
stop you right there. The fact that you said Busher seventh after watching RFK the last few weeks is genuinely astonishing.
Yeah,
That's all. I just watched him on Saturday, Sunday, and like my if I was him, my blood would be boiling every weekend.
why did I sign that
The
extension?
fact that he's put that car seventh in points is unbelievable. He finished 10th with the Bubba Wallace penalty, top 10,
Yeah,
least deserving top 10 of all time. I'd argue probably yes.
he wasn't that bad. He had some speed in stage three.
He was pretty terrible. He found some speed in stage 3 when he put those tires on and could roll the top pretty good. But brother, let me tell you, so I watched him lap after lap after lap, radio in my ear, tight on entry, snapping free on exit, tight on entry, snapping free on exit. All right, we're gonna jack it up and we're gonna work on it here for a minute. I mean, it was terrible.
Um, eighth is Hocevar. Hocevar has the speed to win a championship, but I think the rest of the garage is not going to let him win a championship this year.
There's no chance.
Um, Bell and Briscoe, we've talked about this at nauseum. I think that they still have a very good shot at getting up there. I mean, just
Yes,
looking at this, um, Bell has led the fifth most laps of any driver.
crazy.
So he is just getting insanely unlucky at the moment and everything. My honorable mention of the night. How about SVG? Top
Dude,
10.
that guy is an animal. He's so good at
That
Atlanta.
he loves Atlanta. I
He's
don't
so good there.
understand what the correlation is, but every time you go to Atlanta,
He's
that
awesome.
kid, he's so
He's
good.
awesome.
And it's because I think they were talking about it, just how aggressive he's allowed to be at Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I mean, he almost wrecked himself a few times, but I mean, he still comes away with what, a sixth place finish? He was right there at the end. Yeah,
Yeah, I
sixth
think
place,
seventh maybe or sixth. Yeah.
sixth, right ahead of Austin Dillon. So very, very good showing once again for Team 97.
Yeah,
And
dude, he's so much fun to watch at Atlanta. You're just like look up and you're like, oh my gosh, is that the 97 in third? Sure enough.
I thought he was going to have a chance to win this thing.
If he would have won, I would have been oh, that'd have been awesome.
I was going to say he tried to make a move on the back straight, and it just did not stick. And it cost him two positions, but I don't fault him
No,
considering his point situation, going for the win there.
oh yeah.
So I'm just shocked everybody didn't wreck multiple times.
Oh, there was a few times I was like, some of these guys I feel like Elliott, which I don't think his car was that good, turns out. But I was like, I think he might be hanging back a little bit. But I don't think his car was great.
I'm just impressed with the field. I mean, I
Yeah.
really expected we were going to get a good 20 car pileup, similar to what happened last year in this
Yeah.
race, and we didn't. And I think the racing was better because of it. So
Yeah, the bigger the pack, I mean, it just always ends up being better. It
Atlanta's
makes the finish. There's just a lot more energy in the pack towards the finish.
Atlanta's good no matter how you slice it, though. I mean, it is such a good track, and I think that's might be like the last thought we leave on is just can we get more dates for Atlanta,
Yeah, please,
please? Um, we want to host an All Star race somewhat close to Charlotte.
bang. There's your
Bang,
answer.
right there. Clash. You want to race somewhere that's kind of like Daytona but not Daytona?
Can you imagine duels
Oh my gosh.
like a sprint duel at Atlanta? That'd be awesome.
I just a short race where they have to go pedal to the metal the entire time.
Just one fuel window. Go get them, boys.
Don't shred your tires because they will run out faster than your fuel. But yeah,
Yeah,
gosh, I
or
love
shred your
Atlanta.
tires and then see what happens. I don't care.
Yeah, pit. It
Yeah,
sometimes works. Um, what a race! What a we're on a pretty good stretch right now in terms of tracks, and I have a little bit of hope for North Wilkesboro. Not a ton, but a little. So
just a
hopefully
sliver. We'll take it.
we'll take it. But Grant, why don't you take us out?
All right, from Caden and the 3 a.m. crew over on this side of the camera. I do believe this has been the Tri-Oval Office, and I guess we will see you later this week for a North Wilkesboro preview.
Or if not, we'll see you later at some
Peace.
point.
That's
Bye.
right.